big drop to Mercury, and the rig vibrating. It's a palm tree, 20 feet palm tree, and with the sharp, and then now they all.
Well, hello everybody. I don't know if some of you may have heard that. Jane, I'm finally getting onto the questions, okay? And Jane just came in, just got a tweet from Spirit of Helsinki. Speed just dropped, mast is shaking, all the rest of it, and apparently there's a 20-foot long palm tree jammed under the boat on the keel, or they've run over it and it's up against the keel. So I guess it's not a UFO, it's a palm tree in paradise as we go. So it should be okay. But anyway, that's kind of fun. So we're here, and I'm just waiting for Jane to give me the okay that it's on Facebook. Haven't seen anyone pop up yet to see it. So how's it looking, Jane? She's just checking. I've got the questions here. I don't want to talk about anything until we know it's actually there. So it could be. That's a picture board behind me of some of the things at home at the moment. Some of the little adventures and bits going on there. Still no news from Jane. Is it up, Jane? Yeah. It's on Facebook. Okay, that's cool. All right, so I'll go into the questions, and you can check them out when you get on board later on. So there's 13 questions, I think, or comments or whatever, and I haven't seen them. But anyway, safe travels home. This is from Kathleen, which of course will come out in the near. Oh, the Explorer praying. Okay, so we spoke to Explorer today. It'll be up on SoundCloud. Sometime today, which is Tuesday, I think. Yeah, it's Tuesday afternoon, and you'll see they hit it 3 times. Something went wrong in attack or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, they hit it once and it slid along, and then they went up and bang, hit it again. Then it went along and bang again, and there was a couple that went through the gel coat into raw glass, and they've tried to patch it on the side of the hull while they're sailing in calmer conditions later on. So we'll wait and see, but it's non-structural, so just very frustrating. And, Mark's obviously very frustrated about that as well. Not the usual thing that happened, but when you're sailing, things happen. It's one of those deals. So, yeah, it certainly was a classic start, plenty of wind and breeze. Please, jeepers, an IRC question. Okay, please explain how the IRC ranking is being determined. Well, that's gone through before, but from what I can tell, it seems to be determined based on their corrected estimated finished elapsed time to cows using whichever VMG value you wish to use to make the estimate. Yeah, that's part of course. They work on the average speeds on the, this is just while it's live. Okay, they use the average speeds that are happening, and based on those average speeds, they'll determine the estimated finish time and putting in the factors for the IRC. So if they get an extra 10 seconds a mile or whatever, then that's how the value comes up. So it's distorted. It's what I was saying today. It's looking like Penjuic is something like 15 days behind Triana or something. Well, obviously that's not going to happen, touch wood, or shouldn't happen. But it's early days. The boats are all over the place, and their average speeds are quite low and things like that. So it's only indicative, and on top of that, it's only provisional. It's got to be checked when by the time they actually finish their time on the water, add the IRC value, and then it becomes real. But the tracker is just a guide. So I hope that makes sense. John again, are there fines for not participating in the talent shows? Absolutely not. Talent shows are just for fun, and it was a bucket of laughs and a lot of fun. So, long may it last. And in fact, when we're just deciding now, when we go to Rome, we're going to translated 9 are our partners now for the finish, the big finish party. And we're all going to Rome for the weekend, a big party weekend in Rome. Official prize giving on the Friday night, and then people can go play around Rome during the day on Saturday, and then a big beach party late Saturday. And it'll probably be at the beach party we do the talent shows again. So stand by for that. It could be a lot of fun. In fact, we're not sure whether we'll put that up live on Facebook, because this will be the last party, and it could get kind of let's wait and see. But we'll reserve our decision on the live Facebook for that one or not later. Hugo, when will arrangements be publicised for the arrival in cows, please? Well, the arrangements are available now. It's been announced in press releases. What happens is once they cross the Royal Yacht Squadron finish line, they will head straight for Trinity Landing, which is a big landing like a marina berth all the way along the foreshore there, right beside the squadron. And they'll stay berthed there for about 2 days, 48 hours. There's a lot of things they have to complete. They have to sign declarations. We have to check all the seals. They have to hand over all their photos and videos. Someone has to do an interview for the film. There's a whole series of things. So we have a new card. It's called the blue card. And until they've ticked all the boxes on the blue card, they actually can't leave the marina. And most should be finished within 2 days. So, family and friends will no doubt get the ferry, come out to Cowes and see how they go, to give them a big welcome. And we're actually doing something, I don't know whether I've mentioned this publicly, but the entrants certainly know. In the last 5, 6, 7 days, we will be forwarding the IRC estimated position for the boats around them. In other words, they will know exactly how far behind they are from the next 2 closest in front and the next 2 closest behind. And that will give them an opportunity, if they so desire, to stage their arrival or slow down to arrive at sort of like 8 o'clock in the morning instead of 3 o'clock in the morning. Obviously, you wouldn't do that when you're racing if it's going to affect your potential position in the race. But if you find your nearest competitor is 2 days ahead of you and the one behind you is 2 days behind, if you delay your arrival for 3 or 4 hours, it's not going to really affect your position in the race, but it may make it a lot more fun for family and friends and partners and things like that want to see you cross the finish line and also meet you on the dock when it happens. So there's various ways to get to Cowes. There's a car ferry, there's people ferries, quite regular, and it's very simple walking distance from the ferry terminal to Trinity Landing. So that's about it. Okay, that was, I missed, okay, will the entrance more up after crossing the line and will supporters have access? Yeah, your supporters will have access. It's a public space there. So if you come across to see your favourite boats landing, you will be able to participate in the fun. The champagne will happen there, and we do the photos and all that sort of stuff. The usual deal, the lives as they're crossing the line. As long as the weather's okay, we should be out there in the rib. So you'll be able to follow it live anyway. Warren, Ria Vrica, with the extent of the damage in this upwind leg in hindsight, should they have gone straight back to Punta? No, not necessarily. This question was obviously posted a day ago, but you can see the damage. It's not damage which is affecting the integrity of the hull that's going to sink the boat, touch wood. It is damage on deck. The pulpit, that's not so bad. They took that off, and they've managed to re-engage the reefing gear somehow. Whether they can reef it or whether they're just using it as a foil, I'm not sure, but they're sailing again. And it would have been much more time consuming for them to consider going back and do all the bits. There's not a lot you can do for that anyway. So anyway, they're happy with what they've got at the moment and moving forward. Okay, Warren, re-watching a start of the line video, looks like 2 boats might have had a bump, number 6 and so on. No, that's not the case. There were no other collisions, and we don't do, prior to the start, if anyone has a collision, then in the notice of race, we have the right to fine both boats, both parties that were involved with the collision, and that money goes to a local rescue organisation or whatever. There were no collisions pre-start. After the start, you're on the course and sailing, and there are, again, we don't sail under sailing rules like with world sailing rules. We just sail under collision regulations, which is the rule of the road on the ocean. Okay, it's all common sense stuff. This is a passage race, from start to finish. So 360s and 720s and, crowding at the mark, all those sorts of things. Not so relevant for this type of sailing. And some of the sailors in this event have never done a normal yacht race before in their life, don't know anything about yacht racing rules, but you certainly know about rule of the road. And it's certainly a passage race. So you've got to start there and finish there. First boat home wins, except for the IRC handicapping. So it's a different deal, and that's why, whilst we respect and really believe in what World Sailing do, we're not actually associated with World Sailing. We're outside the realms of that, and then we pretty much do our own thing. So it's a very simple format. Okay. Andrea, is Explorer okay, Don? Yes, it is. Just got a few graunches and grinds down the hull, so we'll have a few things to do later this year to patch all that up. Marge, Don, I thought the OJR finishes in Cowes, England. Yes, it does. It finishes in Cowes. So it's the Fastnet start-finish line. It's the very well-known finish line for some of the Transats and things like that. So it's the Royal Yacht Squadron finish line. Entrants take their own times. We'll be out there in the rib. We're very happy to be able to use that Royal Yacht Squadron finish line. That was the start line. So they've finally finished the loop, and it'll be very interesting watching them come around the Needles and come up the constricted waters there, depending on tides. So if there's some close racing, tides could make a big difference. So always kind of fun. Okay, so that's it. So that's a very simple, quick one. Nothing there from the people. Morning from Punta, G'day, it's on Facebook. Okay, that's cool. So just a quick one. We'll see you tomorrow with the tracker. And thanks for following. Enjoy the ride. See you later.